Hi, I'm Tim, and welcome to Watchbox Studios' coverage of Baselworld 2018. Now, of course, we're going to be covering all of the new model debuts, all of the news as it occurs right here, so if you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe right now and stick with us. But I have to say, while all brands have embargoes on their new model release information, the specs, production numbers, availability, and of course photos, above all photos, some brands are poker players and other brands perhaps have a little bit more of a tell. No one plays it closer to the vest than Patek Philippe, Omega, and Rolex. So we're going to take a look back at Omega today. In 2017, after our look back, we're going to try to guess what might be discontinued. And after the retrospective and the speculation regarding the year's casualties, we're going to glance into our crystal ball and try to prognosticate and project what Omega has in store for 2018. So looking back on Baselworld 2017, it was all about the trilogy. The headliner was the 60th anniversary of the iconic Omega Speedmaster. Now that is Omega's icon watch, but it wasn't the only birthday boy last year. We were also paying tribute to the class of 1957, the Speedmaster, the Seamaster 300, the first Seamaster that was truly a dive watch, and then the Railmaster, the least known but simplest and most versatile of the three. The Trilogy set was all the rage. 3,557 pieces of each model with a triple set with matching serial numbers of 557 sets issued. Now, the Seamaster Railmaster, not the Trilogy Railmaster, but the Seamaster Railmaster, a spectacular satin-finished 40mm crosshair dial watch, simple, time only, also with a silver dial. Those two variants were probably the unsung heroes of Omega's 2017 novelties. Beautiful and versatile pieces, they were not unnoticed by those of us who truly love the Omega brand. Now, there was also, far less discreet, the monstrous but lovable Seamaster Professional Planet Ocean GMT, officially nicknamed the Big Blue by Omega, a lovable if oblique and oversized tribute to the 1970s Seamaster 120 reference 166073, the previous Big Blue. Now, we also saw a refreshed Aqua Terra lineup, that is the Surf and Turf Seamaster, the one without the rotating bezel. That's more of a versatile water-resistant watch, and probably the most relevant to this year's Seamaster anniversary. The Aqua Terras got reprofiled cases, they became master chronometers, the Matas chronometer standard, they received revised dials, they received better integration of bracelets and straps with the case lines. So, we've looked back. Let's quickly think about what might be buried, what will be discontinued, what do we lay into the ground, figuratively speaking. Well, it's tough to say. I would say certainly the 1957 Trilogy set, because it was a limited edition for the 2017 model year. The last of those are being delivered. It has essentially run its course. The Speedy Tuesday, that sold out in 24 hours in January of 2017, so one of the most talked about watches of last year, first quarter, nevertheless, long gone. Also, I would say, beyond that, Omega discontinues watches without the pomp and the circumstance and the furious collector speculation, both of guessing and of watch flipping, that surrounds the Rolex community and Rolex's concluded references. I would say this is because, like Breitling, there are just too many Omegas to really feel like you ever have a firm grasp of the catalog or the model lines. We all have our favorites, but even hardcore Omega fans would be hard-pressed to describe in detail the full Constellation, DeVille, and Ladies lines. They're simply too vast. I would also say that while the Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch is forever, and the basic Omega model lines tend to be fixed points, nevertheless, all else is subject to fluctuation, and Omega has fewer fixed points of reference and fewer truly iconic models than Rolex. The Explorer 2, the GMT Master, the Daytona, the Submariner, the Sea Dweller. We tend to know the reference numbers. Omega reference numbers are incomprehensible. We tend to have a pretty good grasp on the few Rolex variants of those models. Omega variants are infinite and ever expanding. And just in general, I would say consider the difficulty of comparing a Submariner, which we all pretty grasp intuitively, whether we're Rolex fans or not, with a Seamaster. You know the Sub and its few variants, but the Omegas, do you know all of the 300s, all the Aqua Terras, all the Planet Oceans? Most people don't. I don't, I'll be honest. And finally, I would say perhaps the most niche watch of last year. The Seamaster Planet Ocean Big Blue will be discontinued. I wouldn't be shocked by that. Making it a one-year run, a quirky and memorable entry in the catalog, I think that would be worthy and worthwhile, and that's my choice to be discontinued of the watches we'd recognize by name. Also remember, whenever you Google an Omega reference from the previous millennium, it pops up on Google, still listed on the Omega website. It'll say this is discontinued, but it's still there. Again, Omega does not do a great job of communicating discontinuation. Now, predictions. Okay, let's look forward. Anniversaries? Oh yeah, you betcha. 1848, La Generale Watch Co, founded by Louis Brandt in Chaux de Fonds, the official predecessor company for Omega, which officially became Omega in the early 1900s. Now, 1948, this was the centenary of Omega using the Louis Brandt Foundation date, and there was the centenary Omega limited edition of 6,000 chronometers. So we actually had an anniversary watch going back in 1948, paying tribute to 1848. So this year, we might see recognition of the 1848 anniversary and recognition of that landmark limited edition anniversary watch. We might see both. Also, keep in mind that in 1848, that would have been a trick. 1948, we saw the first of the Seamasters. It was the first Seamaster reference, 2518. Take a good look at it. It's basically a simple men's dress watch. It's not a diver, but it was the beginning of regular production of Omega water-resistant watches that were sold under the Seamaster line in everything from the dress references to, from 1957 on, the Seamaster 300 and later Seamaster Professionals. So we're absolutely going to see some sort of 70th anniversary Seamaster this year. We know this because in 1998, Omega officially recognized the 1948 Seamaster Foundation date with the Seamaster anniversary, the anniversary Seamaster of 1998. 50 pieces, white gold, very beautifully made, hand-engraved and hand-skeletonized caliber from the Omega 1000 series automatic family. Rich enough to want gray poupon. Could we see a sequel this year? I wouldn't bet against it. I actually think we're going to see a lot of Seamaster special editions this year. Also, don't underestimate the power of the modern Mavericks and Milestones. And 1998 was the first year for the Speedmaster X-33. Okay, so now, will we see another grand complication? Very possible. We saw for the 100th anniversary of the Omega name brand in the early 1990s, well, I guess at the time it was actually the 90th anniversary of the Omega name brand, they had a Central Tourbillon. And the Central Tourbillon was officially the early 90s 90th anniversary tribute to the Omega brand. So could we see a minute repeater? Omega once did a prototype minute repeater back in the late 19th century. Could we see another tourbillon? Could we see a perpetual calendar? The fact is we could see any of these for the anniversary of the company itself. I believe that would be a worthwhile occasion for Omega to bring out a proper successor to the Central Tourbillon from the early 90s. Now, an X-33 anniversary edition, 1998 was such a big deal for the Speedmaster that Omega actually said so during the 60th anniversary celebration last year. They recognized last year that 98 was a big year for the Speedmaster because the X-33 was a landmark watch. The roughly 1998 to 2006 production of the X-33 generations 1 and 2 was the 1990 Acura NSX of watches. Highly refined, immensely capable, unfairly ignored for reasons of snobbery during its production run, and subsequently coveted by everyone who shunned it when new as soon as it was discontinued. I believe we will see some sort of X-33 anniversary watch this year, especially since the X-33 line is back in production. I also think that we will see Seamasters and lots of them. But remember what I told you about that first Seamaster reference? It was basically a water-resistant dress watch. I think we will see some sort of Seamaster Aqua Terra that is the anniversary model, because the Seamaster Aqua Terra in today's catalog is the closest living relative to that first 1948 reference 2518. That is the watch that I think will be the inspiration for this year's 70th anniversary Seamaster. I also predict that And now that could be anything. I think that will be an exquisite piece. I think there will be a volume watch that will be a Seamaster diver. I predict that we will see a limited edition steel or titanium anniversary Seamaster in dive watch form that will sell in volume. Think of a simple timepiece and accessory box set along the lines of the Seamaster Professional SMP Commander's watch from last year. I think we'll see something like that as the volume anniversary Seamaster, and then I think we'll see, possibly in Aqua Terra form, a platinum Seamaster along the lines of the 2014 Seamaster 300 limited edition of 757 pieces in platinum with a blue enamel dial. I think that will be the Grail level flagship anniversary Omega for the year 2018. Well, guys, tell me, if you're watching this after the fact and you've seen Basel or you've been to Basel, sound off in the comment box below. Tell me how I did. And if you haven't subscribed, both for our Basel coverage and for our regular programming here on Watchbox Studios, remember to subscribe. I'm Tim, this is Watchbox, and thanks for logging on.